I mean, Le'Veon Bell didn't do too much on him. And then it was a close game. They lost by 3.
And Myles Garrett didn't play.
Yeah.
The Browns have something cooking. Yep. Hugh Jackson's a very good coach.
A lot of young players.
Give him time.
They've got a lot of good talent. Can Deshaun Kaiser be the answer, though? That's the question.
I think he could.
I like him. And
for his first game.
And to me, this only proves to me that either Deshaun Kaiser is really, really good or Osweiler was really, really bad.
Well, Osweiler never even played for the Browns.
Yeah. I know, but especially in the quarterback battles during camp and in the preseason, you know what I mean?
Especially that wasn't Osweiler named the starter.
He was.
A week before Deshaun Kaiser was.
But Kaiser had an incredible preseason.
Oh, well, no, yeah, of course. I'm just saying, though, it was only a week in advance, though. I remember hearing Osweiler was the starter, and then the next week, they're like, oh, well, we announced Deshaun Kaiser the starter. I'm like, what? I'm like, how did this occur? But
it was a good move.
Oh, of course.
Disregarding the loss, Kaiser looks promising.
And Brock Osweiler's back in Denver.
Browns fans are the most tortured fans in the NFL. They deserve a good team.
They do.
The Raiders signed Donald Penn to a 2-year extension worth $21 million, according to Pro Football Focus. Last year, he had an 86.3 overall grade. What are your thoughts on the deal?
Well, let's just put it like this. He's at the age of 36, and, he was holding out for a bit, in training camp because he couldn't get a new deal. So this was the right time for them. Let's put this in perspective. The Raiders spent $43 million just on their offensive line so far. All right, so I think it's a big thing for him to be back. He's a great offensive tackle. The Raiders need to be put in that right direction because the younger rookies who played in the first game didn't do too good on the offensive line, so they need that veteran presence in there and, hopefully get a great playoff run.
And the age doesn't really matter because going back to the Bengals for a minute, they lost Andrew Whitworth in free agency.
38
to the Rams. He's 37.
37,
but
wow.
You can see that loss has affected them so much. I mean, Cincinnati's offensive line looked like garbage.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Oh, God.
Well, I mean, I can tell you this. The Raiders made the good move because you don't want Coney Ealy or Leonard Williams coming after him. No, I'm kidding there. But overall, definitely a great move. You have to lock up the offensive lineman. And it's late in his career, so it's only a 2-year extension.
Yeah, that's
about what expected.
Offensive line continuity is so important.
Especially with the Raiders predicted to possibly go to the Super Bowl this year, you got to keep everyone together and have them play as much as possible so they build up that chemistry that they really already have and make it even better.
And they're going to beat the Jets on Sunday.
Oh, no doubt in my mind.
Will the Jets cover the spread? Will they cover the spread?
What is the spread?
It's a double-digit spread. I think it's 13. I'll tell you the exact.
Wow.
I'll tell you the exact number in a minute.
Well, you guys lost by how much the first week?
9.
Okay.
But it was to Buffalo, though.
And I also think the Jets had they could have had a chance to win it. I think
I was right. 13.
They could have really tried a little harder, I think.
Will the Jets cover the spread? I'm going to say no.
Mm-mm.
No way Jets cover that spread.
They're going to run away with it, I think.
No.
So, sticking with New York predictions, Giants-Lions.
Yes.
This is going to be a really good game.
And you know what, Jacob? I'm doing something different this week.
What's
I
that?
got the matchups.
You got the matchups.
So for the matchups between the two, I got the running backs and linebackers, all right? So for the Detroit Lions, last year they missed Amir Abdullah, and now they have Theo Riddick, two of the fastest backs coming out of the backfield. And you got our linebackers, Jonathan Castillo.
Castillas.
Devon Kennard. And also B.J. Goodson, a draft pick out of Clemson. He played great last week. He could be a 3-down linebacker. Let's just see how he's going to match up with them. You know what I mean? He's a good inside the tackle stopper. So it's going to be interesting because these backs are pretty fast, man.
I hear you.
It's going to be a matchup.
It is hard to doubt the Lions, though, after that comeback win. And
they played incredibly well. Of course, I had Stafford on my bench.
Thanks for that, by the way.
I think that's going to be a back-and-forth game. But again, it all depends on the Giants' offense this week now, because especially that if they don't have Odell again, whatever the case is with that situation, but if they don't have Odell again and they can't use those wide receivers, I'm sorry, but I think the Lions are going to take that one, just like last week against the Cowboys.
You got a point
I feel like the
Dom.
Giants are going to look the same way. And I'm not saying it to be like attack the Giants. I'm just saying they simply.
You have a right to attack the Giants. They look like
it's almost like they can't execute a play when Odell's not on the field.
They look
lost. They looked lost.
And I'm sorry.
I was confused. Was Geno Smith under center?
he might as well have been.
I'm telling you, Eli, me and Eric always says it. He always has those bad games, and that was really one of his bad games.
I want to ask you this because I saw this on ESPN the other day, and it really brought this question to my mind, and they were talking about it. So I thought, why not ask you guys? And do you think eventually, maybe at the end of the season, or thinking throughout the season, that the Giants are thinking about possibly moving on from Eli Manning?
They drafted Davis Webb, so they're already thinking about
Good
the
question.
future.
If they make it further in the playoffs, no.
It's
But
one
if it's
game, though. I'm not giving up on Eli yet.
Oh, I'm not either, but it raised questions. So, you have to at least consider it. See what, maybe, it's just a good topic.
See, now this is tough because obviously Eli Manning, as Jerry Reese put it, is on the back nine of his career. As Giants fans, we've established that. We understand that. We may not like it, but, that's reality. Eli Manning is very inconsistent in the sense where he can have these really, really good games where he can be better than anybody in the NFL, quarterback-wise. But then he can have these games where he just looks awful and looks lost and looks just... I don't know. I would say, if you're speaking on terms of this year, if the season goes well and they get maybe to the NFC Championship game, even the Super Bowl, I would say Eli maybe has another 2 years left. If they miss the playoffs, I would say minimum a year.
I think it's a fair question to ask.
It is.
I mean, again, they drafted Davis Webb. It's clear they're thinking about the future. But I'm not giving up on Eli yet. I'm not.
Because look at this situation, all right? We're going to talk about Tom Brady. I know he's considered the greatest quarterback of all time, right? He's had always great teams. I mean, name one team he didn't have that was great. When he was injured, he missed a season. I mean, come on. Eli never really... I mean, let me not say that at all, never. But he had his years when his defense was historically bad. There's nothing you can do about that. You know what I mean? You got to put your faith in him. This is what you're invested in. If that's the case, the Patriots wouldn't have invested in Tom Brady, but he's still clearly their quarterback at the age of 40.
Eli has led really bad offenses to 2 Super Bowls. That is 100% correct. So I'm picking the Giants based on that. I think Game 1 was an aberration. I really do. I don't think the Giants are going to be that bad. I honestly don't. They played the Cowboys at home. I mean, it's simple.
The home field doesn't really have a big factor, I think, in terms of Dallas. I don't really think so.
You don't think so?
No.
Jerry World's one hell of an arena.
I'm not saying that the crowd isn't loud, but they just have a good game. They didn't have a good game at all.
They played well enough to win. I mean, granted, the Giants looked like garbage, so they'd have lost to a lot of teams. They'd have lost to the Jets. Jets could have beaten the Giants last week. Easily. The way the Giants played, it's a joke.
I mean, they did play like trash.
Yes, they did.
But in Dallas, you have to remember, Zeke's probably playing pissed right now, so he has something to prove. And he ran over the Giants' defense by himself. Obviously, Dak did his thing. Jason Witten tore them apart. Cole Beasley made a great catch.
Des Bryant was non-existent. Thank you again.
Janoris Jenkins, credits to him.
I'm sorry?
Credits to Janoris Jenkins on that.
Jackrabbit!
I'm telling you.
I am picking the Giants on Monday. Obviously, this is only week 2, but to me, if they win this game, this is a statement win. They're playing at MetLife in front of their home crowd, so this just needs... I'm not going to say must win, but it would be nice.
You're listening to Beyond the Game on the Voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. I am Jacob Valk. Sitting across from me, Brandon Johnson, Dominick Arbolino, and Eric Fischetti. Number to call if you have something on your mind is 516-572-7440. Brandon, we'll ask you to excuse yourself so we can get to hockey. A lot of hockey to talk about this week, and that is why we have the true hockey maven here, Eleanor Ciampi. Eleanor, great to have you as always, my dear.
Thanks. Hi.
You were here last week, and I kicked you out, and I felt really bad about it because there was no hockey to talk at all. So the Devils re-signed Damon Severson to a 6-year deal worth $25 million. Last year, he had 31 points in 80 games. Eleanor, what are your thoughts on the deal?
I think it's a good deal. I think that he is their most promising young defenseman, so I think it was really important to lock him up. And for 6 years, I mean, that's really good. And it's really not that much money.
See, I'm not a Severson fan. Whenever I've watched him, I just haven't been impressed with him.
I like him.
You like him?
Yeah.
I know there are a lot of Devils fans that are high on him, and he has been their best defenseman for a while. I mean, I remember when him and David Schlemko were on the Devils, and they looked pretty good. But I wasn't crazy about this deal.
I think that the Devils have lacked defense.
For a long
time. I mean, they had Ben Lovejoy, really.
Former Penguin.
And then, I think it was a good deal. I really do.
Who was the last good Devils defenseman? Scott Stevens, right?
Yeah.
Or Ken Danico.
Yeah, I mean, I personally think that the Devils are going to be good in the next couple of years.
You see it.
I like the Devils' future. They drafted Nico Hischier also.
Who was I love him. So
yeah, I know you do.
I think he's going to be great.
You liked him over Nolan Patrick.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I remember that. The Jets signed Brian Little to a 6-year extension worth $31.75 million. That's the Winnipeg Jets, by the way, not the New York Jets. Dominic.
Okay.
I know.
Although, you know what? Brian Little could probably play better than some of the New York Jets.
Yep, right.
Oh, God. Last year, he had 47 points in 59 games. He'd fit right in. He's always injured. Eleanor, what do you think of the deal?
I mean, I think it's a little too much money, and the fact that it's 6 years concerns me a little bit because he's going to be 30 in November, so that'll take him to he's 36. And he's injury prone. So
He is very injury prone.
I mean,
but he's so talented.
He is. I don't know. I think that the 6 years is kind of bothering me a little bit.
I could see that. And it's over $5 million a year, too.
It's a lot.
Which is a lot of money for an injury prone
And I mean,
center.
I think Jets need help, too, so.
Little's probably their best player, though. So
I think so.
On the same token, you have to keep your best player.
Yeah.
So the Bruins re-signed David Pasternak to a 6-year deal worth $40 million last year. He had 70 points in 75 games. Eleanor, what are your thoughts on the deal?
It's about time, honestly.
Well-deserved.
Yeah, I mean, they needed to get it done before training camp, or then he wasn't going to leave the Czech Republic. So, I mean, it had to be done. I'm a little upset. I really didn't want him to stay on the Bruins because he's one of my favorite players, and I don't like the Bruins.
Where'd you want him to
Anywhere but the Bruins or the Flyers. No Bruins, no Flyers, but it's okay. I think it's a great deal. He's amazing.
See, now, I like Pasternak. He's got a lot of skill, but he's only had one good year.
I know, but I just think he's good. I see
he's got a lot
so
of
much potential in him.
He's got a lot of potential, but it's just under $7 million a year.
I know, it's a lot.
You're devoting a lot of money to someone who has a lot of potential. I'll give you that. He put up 70 points. You don't do that by accident. But, oh, man, the chance is there for him to bust.
I feel like it's a high risk, but it's a high reward, though.
I would agree with that. I think we can confidently say that David Pasternak will not put up 70 points each season.
No.
So, I mean, if he hovers around 60, I'll be doing backflips for the Bruins.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't hate the Bruins by any stretch. They're the only Boston team I don't hate. How about that, huh?
I'll agree with you on that. I don't like the Celtics, the Patriots, goes without saying. The
and
Bruins.
You don't like the Red Sox.
And the Red Sox, too. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, that's right. The Bruins are the only team that are okay.
Go Boston College!
I don't mind the Celtics.
Doug Flutie. I'm sorry, what was that, Brent?
Red Sox Stadium as a racist fan, man.
Yeah, Fenway Park. Yeah, did you see that? They displayed a banner over the Green Monster.
The fact that they snuck that in impresses me in itself.
That was horrible to do.
It was horrible.
I mean, I'm going to go off on that, and I don't want to because it's not the time or the place. So, one more hockey story I want to get to. The Wild re-signed Marcus Foligno to a 4-year deal worth $11.5 million. Last year for the Sabres, he had 23 points in 80 games. Eleanor, what do you think of the deal?
I think it's a good deal. I think it's a good amount of money, a good amount of time. I mean, he had 57 block shots last year, 279 hits. So, I mean, he's good.
Didn't they just trade for him, too? Yeah.
Yeah.
They traded for him in late June.
I just feel like people are a little, too hard on him.
You know
what? I just feel like people don't like him.
They don't. Well, you know what it is? It's the family. It's Nick Foligno. They look at him.
Foligno's better.
They look at him and they see that Marcus needs to do the same thing. They're two different players.
Yeah.
And Marcus Foligno's a solid third-line player.
And I think that he fits on the Wild perfectly.
He does. The one thing about this that I'm going to say is the Wild are in cap hell.
Oh, 100%.
They've got a lot of really high contracts. Parisi, Suter, Niederreiter's going to get his money soon. It's going to be really tough for the Wild to keep all those guys together.
Yeah.
So, on that note, let's take a quick break. Don't go anywhere because we will have an exclusive interview with Hansen Alexander coming up next. He's the author of How the Lions Ate Tim Tebow. But first, I got to tell you about a great show that we have here on WHPC. It's called Radio Rumble. It's on Saturdays at noon. It's hosted by my pal Justin Greenberg. He's got a vast knowledge of pop culture and a unique sense of humor. It's a show unlike any other. He plays everything from classic rock hits from the 1950s all the way to today's superstars. Hansen Alexander interview coming up next on Beyond the Game on the Voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
Everybody buckle up.